Hey guys, welcome to another Tying Tuesday with AvidMax. My name is Kaie. Today we're going to be tying up one of my favorite Euro patterns, the Soft Hackle Carrot, a variation of it, I guess. In the vise, I'm putting in a TMC 403 BLJ, a really solid jig hook. We're doing a size 14 today. I have a 3.3 mil bead on it from MFC. I would use anything from like a 2.8 to a 3.5 on here, depending on what we want for depth. So, all right. So first of all, we're gonna start our thread right behind the eye. I've got some UTC 70 denier in olive in the bobbin. Nice smooth body there. Give a nice base layer to tie on the tail. For the tail, we're using some Whiting Farms CDL. I'm using medium Pardo, which I guess they don't make anymore, but you know, anything will work. Dark Pardo, ginger, grizzly, whatever. But I definitely like Coq de Leon. The shimmer, of course, is great, but most of all, it's by far the most durable tailing material I find, so that's like number one reason I love it. Tying in this tail, we're gonna go back a little bit from where we want it just to give us room to adjust it, and then pull it on forward after we give it some wraps just to kind of loosely hold it on top of the hook there for us. And we'll come in, tighten it down, and take this thread all the way up to the bead to kind of lock that in there, and then come in and trim that out. So got our tail. Go ahead and clean up our body and work this thread backwards. For the rib today, we're using some UTC 210 in fluorescent orange. You can use a lot of stuff for this, you know, drop it down to 140 if you want. You could use some holographic tinsels of different kind, floss. This rib, I think, is pretty important though. It's kind of what makes it the Soft Hackle Carrot. So definitely want to do orange, I think, is key. And you just want to make sure it can be seen on the fly. So we'll tie that in there and go ahead and set it off to the side on our material clip. Bobbin holder, I suppose. Give us a nice clean body to work on. Now we're gonna add some dub for the body. Again today, I'm using the SLF Spikey dubbing. This is the Natural Fox. Really solid dubbing. There's a lot of really good synthetic and natural fibers in this stuff. Super easy to dub on and kind of control how thick or thin your noodle is with it. Looks super good, buggy. So if you don't have some, get some. This is gonna be a pretty long noodle. We're just gonna work this taper up nice and slowly. You want this to be kind of even, and you know, you want to semi-taper to it, but it's also, you want it pretty buggy too. So not too tight, not too thin. There's definitely a happy medium there with the dubbing. So nice and easy dubbing noodle. You see it's kind of messy. Looks great. We're gonna give this one quick whip finish to hold it. Could do a half hitch there if you want. Typically, if there's a bead on the fly, I like to whip it just because it's easier and quicker, I think. If there's no bead, I think the half hitch is just as easy, but do what makes you happy. We're gonna go ahead and cord this thread up a little for my ribbing, just by giving it a nice spin. Let that roll there. Go ahead and hold this at a, 30-35 degree angle. And we want to make sure that it's going to be spinning counterclockwise the direction we wrapped our thread, or our dubbing. Go ahead, capture that off, get that out of the way. So you could probably fish it right there. Solid orange rib, good looking bug. But we're gonna add a CDC collar today. I absolutely love adding CDC collars to flies, nymphs, especially Euro type flies. I think it adds a lot to them. So we're using a dark olive CDC today. I like to use Mahogany Brown on this. A ginger also looks pretty good. You can use black, natural done, whatever. But I think this olive's pretty nice. Fish seem to like it as well. So we're gonna put this here in the material clip kind of as is. This material clip is actually something a customer brought into the shop. Someone 3D printed it and brought in a couple, like 2 or 3 sizes of these. So pretty cool tool. I've been using it a lot. Really good for these loops. The bigger one is great for kind of like streamer, woolly bugger size loops, and this thing is a dream for CDC. So shout out to that customer. Sorry, I don't know who it was, but super cool, and I use them a lot. So now we've got our CDC here in the material clip. We're gonna go ahead and use a split thread technique to wrap this around the collar. So to get this flattened out where I can split it, we're gonna turn it counterclockwise until it's nice and flat for us. This can be kind of hard to do. Sometimes if your thread's already overspun, you gotta turn it clockwise, but you'll find it eventually. So this here is where UTC or the Ultra thread really shines. Can't do this very well with the Vivis. I'm using 70 denier, keep in mind, so it's a lot easier as well with like a 140 or even a 210. But super cool technique if you've never done it. It's great for collars on all types of nymphs. Saves a lot of bulk up at the front, locks some material in. Great, I don't know, I love it. So we have our loop there. Sometimes it'll get caught up as you're spinning it down. Go ahead, give it one more spin and just kind of run your finger down it so you have enough room to work with. Go ahead and take your material clip there into the loop. Make sure that the tool is out of the way here. It'll kind of snag as you remove it. So you can see there, it's nicely placed. I think that's going to be a little bulky, so we're going to remove a few fibers from the bottom and go ahead and give it a nice twist. Just make sure everything's caught in there real well. You got your little mini CDC loop. We're going to go ahead and just wrap this around, palmer it as a collar. Go ahead, you can wet your fingers if you want. Pull these fibers here back. As you do that, then we will give it a quick lip finish. Trim out a few fibers caught up here. So they're just about complete. Again, you could probably fish it like that. I like to clean up my CDC a little and make it so it's more of a traditional like style and look, I guess, of hackle, not so long and buggy. So go ahead and take it back here to your tail. You can see my CDC tail in there. Just go ahead and pinch it or grab with your nails, pull that off and break it. Another great thing, this CDC tail, or CDL, sorry, my Coq de Leon tail there is not going to break when you pull the CDC back because it's so durable. But there you have it, the finished Soft Hackle Carrot. Super awesome fly, productive all year round. Fish it under an indicator, fish it on the Euro rig. Thanks.